Today, I'm going to show you 10 social etiquette mistakes that harm your image. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the Etiquette and Protocol channel. I'm Juliana Santiago, a teacher and etiquette specialist. And today I'm going to show you the 10 biggest social etiquette mistakes people make that really harm their image. 10 practices, 10 habits. 10 protocols done the wrong way that really harm your image and can ruin the way people perceive you. So, do you want to know what the top 10 mistakes are? Stay with me until the end of this video. The first one is not giving a proper greeting. Whenever you greet people, it's essential that you do it with enthusiasm. Many times when we go to greet someone, we have the habit of shaking their hand carelessly. Sometimes we even give a really limp handshake. Sometimes even giving a greeting is awkward. You give a cheek kiss and just do it any old way, or even when you wave to someone, right? Sometimes you can't have physical contact with the person. You just wave, and even then, you don't convey a positive feeling in that greeting. This is a classic mistake and a lot of people make it. It's important for us to emphasize that a greeting is often the starting point of a relationship. So for example, when you arrive at an event, greeting people is something natural. When you arrive at a meeting, or even when you pass by the entrance of your building and see your doorman, greeting him is essential. The first mistake is not making good eye contact when greeting someone. There's no point in greeting a person while looking off into nowhere. It's important for you to focus on that person. Another point is not showing your happiness through your facial expressions. Another point is for you to smile. Don't forget to smile when greeting someone. A smile is the gateway to a relationship, to an interaction. So even if you're going to give that greeting from far away with a wave, never forget eye contact and a smile. Those are two key points. And in the case of greeting with a touch, it's essential that you know how to do it properly. If you want, I can record a video later. Speaking more about greetings, mistakes people make when greeting, protocols for a good greeting, a proper greeting, body language mistakes people make. This is a really big topic. It could be a whole other video topic. So if you want, leave it here in the comments and I can come back and talk more about it later. Another point is also about posture. Posture is essential for your behavior and for projecting your image. That's why not having good posture is something that will really harm you a lot. So be very careful when you walk, always keeping your chin parallel to the ground. Never walk with your chin pointing up to the ceiling, not too far down to the floor. Keep it parallel, because if you keep your chin too high, it will make you seem arrogant, as if you want to appear superior to other people. But if you let your chin point down, it will make you look like an insecure person, someone who is not comfortable in that situation. And etiquette is also closely related to projecting your confidence and your sense of security in that environment. So if you follow etiquette standards, you naturally become someone who is seen as more secure, more confident, and consequently also more elegant. So it's important for you to pay attention to your posture. When you sit down, be careful not to just sit any old way, right? Spreading your legs too much, both men and women. Maintaining a very sloppy posture will also be very harmful for you. Also pay attention to how you position your arms, okay? Sometimes you're there keeping your arms too close or crossed, right? Sometimes you may even have this habit and do it involuntarily. Of course, body language isn't just a single gesture you make in front of others. People interpret your overall body language. And we don't need to be experts in body language to understand that people's reactions create feelings in us. This is totally proven, and we feel it when we see it. This has probably happened to you before. You're next to someone and you notice that this person is completely uninterested and doesn't seem like someone who really wants to be in that moment. So whenever possible, try to maintain good posture so you always come across as present in that setting. People will feel that you want to talk and enjoy the moment. This will really change how they perceive you. Another point is also for you to notice your eye contact. Guys, eye contact is one of the things people forget to do. It may seem very simple to talk to someone and look at them, but nowadays that's something that's really missing. We often see people talking to others while messing with their phones. You talk to someone and the other person is looking to the side, looking at the floor, or messing with something else. Maybe sometimes not with their phone, but they're looking around, fiddling with paper or other things, or using the computer. So be very careful when you're interacting with someone. Make sure to establish eye contact. Never forget to make eye contact. And that's something that really helps the other person feel that you're truly interested, that you want to experience that moment, that you actually want to be there, you know? And that's very important because social etiquette is something we use at parties, at events, and in our daily lives. We do have professional etiquette, but here we're talking about personal etiquette, which is about our daily relationships, our personal relationships. So it's important for us to pay attention to the way we treat others, because sometimes a friend or a family member can get upset because of your eye contact, your posture, and the way you carry yourself. And it might seem like you're not interested. They might interpret it that way. So I don't want that to happen to you. So let's pay attention to eye contact. Another point which I mentioned earlier is the issue of phone use. The phone is really something that harms the way we build our image. There's no point in being there, spending time with others, and staying focused on your phone. So whenever you're at an event with other people, even if it's a family gathering, focus on that moment. Sometimes you go to your mom's house for lunch. Forget your phone for a bit, live in the moment, enjoy it, and take the opportunity to talk to people. If you want to share something you saw on the internet, something you saw on your phone, you can show it, but show it and then put it away. Want to take a picture? Take the picture and then put your phone away. The phone is something that really distracts us. Not only when we're talking to someone and we keep looking at our phone, but it also keeps us from experiencing other things, from talking about other topics. For example, sometimes you're just sitting on your mom's couch on your phone the whole time. And then you don't start a conversation, you don't bring up a topic, you don't talk about anything, you don't share any news. And then sometimes you don't live at your mom's house anymore. And that moment is essential for you to maintain and nurture a positive relationship with those people in your family. So it's essential for you to notice that. When it comes to a party with people you don't see often, that's even more important. Because you prefer to stay there on your phone, right? In that digital world, instead of talking to other people you haven't seen in a long time, sharing special moments with people you don't see very often. So, pay attention to how you're using your phone, especially when you're in social settings, and see how things are going for you. Still talking about cell phones, there's another topic about social etiquette that we can't leave out. And one topic leads to another, right? Which is social media. So it's essential nowadays for you to understand how to use your social media. Because we have face-to-face contact, right? Where I've already mentioned several examples in this video. But we can't forget to mention that today we also have digital relationships. So it's a conversation on WhatsApp, it's a post you make on Instagram, and many times you end up sharing a passive-aggressive message, something that can be interpreted with a double meaning, something that can be seen as negative, or even a post you make sometimes in a more naive way, sometimes without really having any idea of how that might resonate. and that can be very negative for you. So pay close attention to how you use your social media. One thing that's interesting to mention is that social media isn't just Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, but also even WhatsApp itself. It's essential that we understand how to use it in the best way. So, for example, sometimes you're having a delicate conversation with someone. Wouldn't it be better to call that person or even arrange an in-person meeting? Many times, text messages or even a voice message we send can have a double meaning. Sometimes the way it was said, the way it was typed can make the other person interpret it in a very negative way. So be careful, because sometimes friendships can even end due to a lack of communication, a lack of understanding through communication on social media. So be very careful. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Many people watch the Etiquette and Protocol channel's videos, but they're not subscribed. So check whether you're subscribed. And don't forget to follow us on our social media as well, Kai Etiquette Protocolo, which are the accounts of the Etiquette and Protocol Institute. Another point, and now let me ask you a question. When you arrive at an event, do you make a point of greeting the people you know? Or do you kind of go unnoticed, pretend you don't see the person so you don't have to greet them? If you have this habit, be very careful. Whenever you arrive in a place where you know a lot of people, where there are many acquaintances, make sure to greet the people you know. So, greet the people you know. If we often try to avoid greeting someone like, oh, I'm not going to say hi there, I'll pretend I didn't see that person, the person might feel bad. The other person might feel diminished, the other person might feel ignored by you. So be very careful. It's really about making the effort, because sometimes you're at a party or an event where you know a lot of people. So always try to arrive at the event and greet everyone. And then it's natural that you'll feel more connected to some people than to others. And then you go and talk to the people you feel more connected to. That's totally fine. But remember to greet the people you know. Another point is speaking loudly. Be very careful with the volume of your voice. Your voice needs to come across positively. It needs to have a pleasant intonation. People need to want to listen to you. But your voice doesn't need to stand out above everyone else's. It's essential to have good projection, but be careful with your tone of voice. Also, pay attention to whether you speak too softly, because many times we're afraid of speaking too loudly, but we end up speaking too softly. And our voice, our ideas, they aren't projected in a positive, assertive way, in the way we would like to be heard. So be careful with that. And about etiquette, I couldn't help but mention that one of the factors for you to really project a good image through social etiquette is mastering table manners. Table manners are the part of etiquette that covers using a fork and knife and eating with our mouths closed. Holding the cutlery correctly, cutting the food in an appropriate way, using the napkin properly. All these topics are essential points for building your relationships. When we're at the table with other people, sharing that time together, we have the opportunity to exchange many ideas and points of view. It's a very special moment and highly valued here in Brazil, but we need to pay a little attention to how we behave at the table. So if you want to improve your table etiquette skills, we have a training course at our school, the Institute of Etiquette and Protocol. It will be the first link here in the video description. It's a very comprehensive training where in a short time you'll be able to master every aspect of table etiquette. You will watch this training through recorded lessons, practical and dynamic classes, so you can truly master this area. If you haven't enrolled with us yet, click below because I'm waiting for you to join this training. Another point, which is also a social etiquette mistake, especially when we're talking about meeting other people, is those who arrive very late. Here in our country, in Brazil, we have the habit, it's kind of part of our culture, to arrive very late. But we need to pay attention to this and be careful about our lateness. Of course, if the event is scheduled for 8 and you arrive at 8:20, that's fine, there's no problem. But if you're going to be an hour or an hour and a half late, you need to let the hosts of the event know that you'll be arriving late. If you already know you're going to be late, let them know in advance. Sometimes you've been invited to a party, for example, and you know you have another commitment, or sometimes because of work you can't arrive at the agreed time. So you can already let them know, look, I know you scheduled dinner for 8, but that day at work is a bit busier for me, so I should get there around 9:30, okay? You don't need to wait for me to start dinner. You can go ahead, I'll join you later. And if you know you're going to arrive at an event very, very late, sometimes consider whether your arrival might even disrupt what's going on there. Pay attention to that, okay? But be careful about being late to events too often. Another point is not following a dress code. So especially at parties where there's a very clear, very specific dress code, it's essential that you dress accordingly. For example, you're going to a costume party. Are you going to show up there without a costume? The host will feel bad thinking, I threw a costume party for everyone to have fun, but no one showed up in costume. So be careful, sometimes you might not like costume parties, but isn't it worth trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes for a bit? And if that's important to someone else, am I going to contribute by doing my part? This also happens at more formal events like a wedding. Even though nowadays we have various types of weddings and some weddings are more informal, where the man, for example, doesn't wear a tie. It's important for you to understand the setting, the dress code of that wedding, so you are always dressed appropriately. So don't forget to always adapt to the type of event. And dressing appropriately helps us project a positive personal image, keeps us within social etiquette, and also makes other people see us as elegant. Have you ever stopped to think about what elegant women never do? I've already made a video about this here on the Etiquette and Protocol channel, and I'll leave it here on the side for you to watch next. I'll stop here for now. See you later.